there's a fundamental question that's of a philosophic nature, but also of a halachic nature that one could easily pose regarding Yom Yerushalayim and Yerushalayim HaKodesh. And that is that we have seen in the course of our history Yerushalayim in two different poses. On the one hand, Yerushalayim b'binyana b'tifarta. Baruch Hashem, today we are zochet to see Yerushalayim built, edifices, gorgeous landscapes, majestic, charismatic. On the other hand, we know throughout history, we've also seen the Churban Yerushalayim, the destruction of Yerushalayim. And so the question is, are Churban and Kedusha two opposites? Are they contradictory in nature? That is to say, desolation and the presence of Kedusha, are they mutually exclusive ideas? Is it possible that Kedusha only resides in binyan? However, when we have desolation, debris and ruin, there is no Kedusha? Or do we assume somehow, no, that it's possible even that one can have Kedusha embedded in, as I said, debris and ruination and Churban and the like. So the Mishnah writes in Maseches Megillah, based on the pasuk in Bechukosai, the Torah tells us in the context of the Torah, Vashimosi is Mikdashechem. Hashem will render our Mikdash desolate. There will be Shmama. So the Mishnah writes, even though it's Shomein, even though it's desolate, it's still possible to have Kedusha. And that's something which is, of course, a tremendous solace to us, that even though we haven't always been zochet to see Yerushalayim b'binyana, not only the binyan in the physical sense, but binyan in the spiritual sense, however, it's irrelevant. We know that the Kedusha of Yerushalayim remains eternally. And the Rambam writes this very clearly in Beis HaBchira, and elsewhere the Rambam distinguishes between the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, which was rendered null and void by virtue of the kibush of the Nebuchadnezzar, in contradistinction to Yerushalayim HaKodesh, where the Kedusha was based on the presence of the Shechina. U'Shechina ein betela. The Shechina will never become batal. There are proofs to this from different, shall we say, we can cite different verses or different citations. I'll just mention one or two. In the Shemona Esrei, we say every day, we see a process. We ask Hashem to return to Yerushalayim. Step one. Step two, there should be Hashras HaShechina. Step three, hopefully Hashem will also, the Hashras HaShechina will be accompanied by the binyan of Yerushalayim. And step four, that once again, the Davidic dynasty will be restored to its ideal state. So here we have 4 steps, 4 stages. In a similar vein, in the Birchas Hamazon, there also, we say, Rachim la Hashem Elokeinu al Yisrael Amecha. Step 1, Rachamim. Step 2, Yerushalayim Yirecha V'Yatzir Mishkan Kvodecha. We're looking for Hashras HaShechina. And step 3, V'Yalmocha V'Zdov V'Misherecha V'Yalabayis HaGol V'Hakodesh Shenikashim Chalav. So here we see different stages, different phases of the rebuilding of Yerushalayim. But we have also on Friday night what seems to be the converse. Mikdash Melech Ir Melucha. We speak about the Makom HaMikdash as being the capital city of the Ribbono Shel Olam. Kayadua, the Shitas Rambam, in 4 different places where the Rambam writes that Yerushalayim is considered to be an extension of the Beis HaMikdash. Yerushalayim has 2 aspects to it. It's part of the larger Eretz Yisrael. On the other hand, Yerushalayim is also connected to the Makom HaMikdash. That's why Soloveitchik Zatzal Paskin LaHalacha, that even though on Tisha B'Av, it would seem that today, Baruch Hashem, as I mentioned at the outset, we have Yerushalayim b'binyana. Yerushalayim seems to be in its fructification, prosperity, flourishing. But we can still say, as long as we don't have the Mikdash, Yerushalayim is still charev. But the Kedusha is embedded in Yerushalayim. And then we say, we're talking about a veil of tears. We're speaking about Yerushalayim mitoch ha'afecha. In the ruins, in the debris of Yerushalayim. Of course, we want Hashem Yisbarach to arouse himself. Lifshi b'gdei setartech, and on. Hisori, kvod Hashem alayich nigla. So we see 2 different aspects of Yerushalayim. And this double image theory is one that's found in Tarach in many different places. The notion that Soloveitchik also propounded many times, Zeichel HaMikdash b'tifarto, Zeichel HaMikdash b'binyano. The pasuk in Eicha, the Rabbi tells us, Zachra Yerushalayim Yimei Yom Rudeha. Yerushalayim had its moments of, shall we say, where it seemingly was at a low, On the other hand, Kol Machmudei Shahoy Lo Mimekeder, the zenith of Yerushalayim. So we have a kind of tensile balance, a kind of tension between these two aspects of Yerushalayim. But it's very clear that the Kedusha of Yerushalayim resides, as I said, even in Churban. And this double image theory, which is very, as I indicated, very embedded in Tanakh. We see it firstly in the Chukosa that we mentioned earlier, and we also see it actually in the Gemara in Tainis Dafem Al. The Gemara says, commenting on the pasuk Yerushalayim, Habnuya ki isha chuba lo yachda. Yachda, there seem to be two genres of Yerushalayim. So the Gemara says, yes, there's the Yerushalayim Shalmata, where we want Mitzvah Hashem should be rebuilt, not just physically, that we see Baruch Hashem, but we want it to be rebuilt as well spiritually, with the Beis HaMikdash, B'nei Yameinu. On the other hand, the Gemara says that the Rebbeinu Shalom comments, I'm not going to come to Yerushalayim Shamala at She'aval Yerushalayim Shamata. First, Yerushalayim Shamata has to reach its shichlul, its completion, its zenith, has to reach the highest level, both physically and spiritually. And then the Rebbeinu Shalom himself says, I will come to Yerushalayim Shamala. This is the idea that we see in many places. The Zohar comments, Shabbos Ilo, Shabbos Tato. There are two dinim in Shabbos. Everything is dialectic, everything is duality, everything is two dinim. There's the higher level Shabbos and the lower level Shabbos. There's the higher level Yerushalayim, the lower level Yerushalayim. Of course, our hope and prayer is that Baruch Hashem, that Zmanenu Ana, we see Yerushalayim, Bibinyana, Bishichlula, we see the growth of Yerushalayim from every standpoint. Halavai, that growth in Mitzvah Hashem should also be accompanied by the Yerushalayim Shemala element, the presence of the Shechina, the restoration of the Beis HaMikdash. Halavai, we should be zocheh to this, B'kar Mamash B'nei Yameinu.